Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Thank you for being here today. I hope all is well in your world, wherever you are in this beautiful, crazy world of ours. It is still in the middle of our pandemic, and I hope that you're all doing well wherever you are in the 150 countries that are in our group here. It's really powerful to know that we are in this together, and we have a supporters group called Patreon where we have a live show every 2 days a week where we get together and just hold hands virtually, and it's a really lovely way of making friends and staying calm during this crazy time. So I do hope that you're okay and doing well. And the thing I wanted to talk to you today about is related to our response to this situation that we're all facing right now. And that is our innate, almost, what's the word, like addictive reaction to fear by being negative. It's easy to see the negative side of things and to be critical when it's just really difficult when everyone's doing their best. There is a reason for this, and it's partly because we are geared, we're actually programmed to view for the negative in life. It's really easy. But I want to talk to you today about how we can change that and how we can shift the lens so that we are feeling, we're taking care of ourselves and we're following our natural responses to be safe and not, in harm's way, but at the same time being open to possibilities, to positivity. And hopefully that will guide some of us all through this together. So as I said, this article is, by the way, by Teresa Bishwaite. And Teresa wrote this article, it was called Why Being Negative is Natural for Us, and trying to explain this situation. Why, of course, we know this kind of the ancient part of our brain really only understands one word, and that's survival. We are just geared to survive. That's our mission in life. And so everything that we see, everything we experience in the sensory world is interpreted by that part of the brain to be dangerous. So, we're walking along, we see a twig on the ground or a little stick, and it's twisty. Our brain immediately says snake, run, hide, react. And that's the way that our brain works. This version 1.0 of the brain is always constantly analyzing and categorizing, what is safe, what isn't safe. And I think that actually does extend to situations in our modern world. We are dealing with right now some things that are very, very dangerous. And I think that our natural response is to, well, maybe not immediately like with the snake in the ground, but it's always immediately we start to think of ways to protect ourselves. Now, sometimes we're guided by guidelines of a government that in some, whether you agree with it or not, says we needed to wear masks. That was the safest way to protect ourselves from COVID. Other people felt that wasn't. But the point is that we sometimes have rules and guidelines that are put in place to help us deal with these fears, because we can't live in a constant state of anxiety all the time. So I think that was probably very useful. But, our brain still is like associating something that's dangerous, a virus, an illness, with something that we have to do to protect ourselves. I don't know about you, but I've noticed a lot of people just walking around each other. Even though now with a lot of people having had the vaccine, I don't know when you're watching this video, but, it's now in, May 2021, most people have had the vaccine and they are, taking precautions and actually probably realistically could go without masks in outdoor situations. But our brain is now in a groove. And that's the thing about our brains, it gets into grooves of behavior that actually are hard to break. Even now I still go out with my mask, and I know a lot of other people do. I even do, if I see a crowd of people coming, I'll just move to one side, or I'll even cross the street. And even though my logical brain tells me it's probably okay, my I guess lizard brain, or my brain version 1.0 is still warning me to look out. Danger is everywhere. That's what it keeps telling you all the time. So there's other parts of the brain, of course, that are more in tune with modern life. And I say modern, I mean like the last few thousand years. It's when we stopped having to worry about dangers in the natural world attacking us, a tiger coming from behind the bush, and to different things that are a little bit more subtle. Prefrontal cortex is the higher brain, and it sees the primitive brain's focus on the protecting us and being fearful and being analytical and categorical all the time, and it kind of softens it. It says, hey, it's okay, let's change the channel. And I love how Teresa describes this, because she actually really does make you understand how it works. I mean, the higher brain is saying, okay, I know that you're like the fear is rushing through your body right now. Your stomach is clenched. You've got this, you're starting to not breathe, or you're a little hyperventilating. You're nervous. Let's change the channel. Okay. And I think that if we can just remember that we need equal time for that part of our brain, the brain that is still cautious and careful, but at the same time, it can sort of plan and predict and manage the future. So she says 3 simple tips for equal airtime. Now remember that the brain basically was worried about the 3 tasks of safety. I'm making sure I get this right: pleasure and efficiency. It wants to do things efficiently and for pleasure, sex, and safety. That's all that little brain thinks about. But the other part of the prefrontal cortex is thinking about, what's the future look like? How can I plan for this? How can I, be non-judgmental? How can I look at all sides of things? How can I invent or create a solution? How can I come through this? It's clever. It's our clever little brain. But she says, here's some ways that you can challenge this natural negativity that we just feel, that we just want to blame somebody or, put an opposing perspective forward. It's just our natural way, which is basically think about 3 things. First of all, what's going right in your world? Think about what's going right. Not what's going wrong, not what's going the sideways or bad, but what's going right in your world. What about how abundant is your life, and how safe do you feel in that abundance? I mean, we have got a lot of mechanisms in place right now to protect us and to help us to feel safe. And I think that if we could just remember that sometimes, in addition with just that, what's going right in your world, that you can then do the third thing, which is look at statistics and look at the news and all those kinds of information sources that we're, just kind of always exposed to. We can put them in the right perspective, and we can, it's like an input to the whole picture. It's not the whole thing. So if you notice how this part of your brain, this prefrontal cortex things, give it time. Let it have its place in your life. Let it shine. And that's the brain that reminds us to be grateful, to have gratitude for the things that we have got in our lives, to remember our family and friends, and in a way, and I know this is going to probably rub some people the wrong way, but not the governments, but the powers that be that help us. And that's what society is all about. And if you don't agree with that, of course, there's other options. But I think if you can just be grateful for the abundance and the security we have. And I'm not talking about money or big abundance. I'm talking about breathing and a house, a roof, and hopefully, running water. That's not the case in so many parts of this world, and we have so much to be grateful for. So that's, I think the direction that Teresa's giving here is give your brain, give it direction. Tell it, today we're going to switch on this channel. We're going to go into positivity channel, and we're going to let that surround us and fill us up with positivity and joy and hope. And I think even though we're naturally inclined to think the negative and no, never, and it's like, that's a great idea, but, and then the but list the negative. It's just like, yeah, it's a really great idea, and we can do, and then you go on to the end, and the end is the positive. The end is the reassurance that you can give yourself and you can give others. It's really, really important. So where are the glimmers of goodness in your life? I think it's a really fun topic. So have you actually noticed this kind of negativity bias in your life? Do you find it's kind of permeating your world right now? Have you thought of some ways that you can escape it? I hope so. Please share your thoughts on this about negativity bias and how you think that there's some ways, techniques that you can move forward. Meditation, perhaps, or spending time in nature, volunteering. What have you discovered? Please share. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. If you liked this video, by the way, and you found it useful, and we talk about all kinds of things on this channel, from fashion and beauty to makeup and relationships, travel when we can do that, but also retirement, finances, well-being. So if you like these topics for women over 50, 60, 70, 80, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. And at a minimum, just like this video so we can share it with other women. And if you'd like to know when we release videos, videos. Just press the notification bell. I do 4 videos every week, and it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, so you can always be aware of what new videos have been launched. Okay, everybody, well, have a fabulous day wherever you are. You are loved, and I so much appreciate your support and presence in my life, and thank you again for everything. Take good care. Bye for now.